This week, the United States Supreme Court issued a decision that has us asking, what is the price of fairness in the immigration law? The case was Sessions versus Morales-Santana, which, despite its name, really has nothing to do with Attorney General Sessions or the Trump administration. Rather, it has to do with the question of how should the immigration law treat the citizenship status of children born to unwed parents. Now, under current immigration law, both sexism and gender roles are actually written into the code, because at the time that the sections were drafted, there was a presumption that when parents were not married, that unwed fathers would basically take no interest in their children, and unwed mothers were the children's natural guardians. And therefore, under the immigration law, for mothers, unwed mothers, to pass citizenship to their children, they only had to live in the United States for a year prior to the child's birth. But for unwed fathers, the standard was much higher. They have to live in the United States for 10 years, 5 years after the age of 14, and fulfill some other requirements. Now, this has changed over time. The amount of time has changed, but it's always had this disparity for at least 50 years. Well, in the case of Mr. Morales-Santana, first name is Luis. Luis was born in the Dominican Republic. His father had moved there 20 days shy of his 19th birthday. So his father fell 3 weeks short of the amount of time needed to pass citizenship to children. He had a child with Luis's mother, who was Dominican. They were not married at the time of Luis's birth, but they later got married, put the father's name on the birth certificate, lived together as a family, and moved to the United States when Luis was 13. Now, Luis got in trouble with the law, and the government attempted to deport him. Luis said to the court, "This is not fair, that because my father is the one passing citizenship, that I'm not a citizen. Everyone should be held to the same standard." Well, the United States Supreme Court agreed with him, and in a decision written by Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the most stalwart liberal justice on the court, found that it was unconstitutional under the Fifth Amendment to treat unwed mothers and unwed fathers differently when it came to passing citizenship. It was a violation of the Equal Protection Clause. Now, this issue has come before the court before, but this is the first time that there was a majority to actually fix it. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote a very strong opinion explaining exactly why this was unfair and why the immigration law has to be gender neutral. So, this is a big victory, right? Well, not so fast. The last part of the case addressed the question of, if you can't treat unwed fathers and unwed mothers differently, which rule should apply? Well, in analyzing it, Justice Ginsburg noted that if you look at other parts of the citizenship law, they're in line with the way unwed fathers had been treated. Allowing unwed mothers to pass citizenship after only a year was a special bonus, an exemption that had been carved out to protect them. And so, since everything needs to be equal, that was the rule that went by the wayside. And that from now on out, until Congress changes it, when you have unwed parents, they both have to abide by the stricter rules in order to pass citizenship. So, what does it mean for Luis? Well, it means that he gets deported. And going forward, it means that there are right now babies that have been born since Monday who would have been U.S. citizens if they were born last week, and now are not. That's the price of fairness. When fairness is equality, nobody gets special treatment. It's a fascinating commentary on how complicated immigration law actually is, and how people who are in the middle of immigration cases need good representation to help them going forward. If we can help you or answer any questions for you, please call us at area code 423-402-0608. You can find us on our YouTube channel, you can follow us on Facebook, or you can contact us online at www.lesterlaw.org. Until next time, Stay safe, stay strong. We'll see you soon.